afraid. Jack Miller, rider okay, as we ride with Cal Crutchlow in 7th place.
Cal Crutchlow 1.7 seconds behind his former Tech 3 Yamaha teammate Bradley Smith. Crutchlow and Polisbargo on that previous lap set the exact same lap time. They're fighting for 7th and 8th. Back at the front, 13 and a half laps to go here at the Indianapolis Motor Speedway, and now that's the closest Valentino Rossi has been to Danny Pedrosa since the start of this race. Valentino Rossi now the gap down to just 0.3 of a second. Pedrosa through turn number 13. Valentino Rossi, you feel, will be close enough to mount an attack very, very soon. The third place, well, those 3 points for Rossi will be absolutely crucial, because at the moment he's going to lose 12 points in the World Championship battle with Lorenzo. Here we are on board with Pedrosa down the straight.
Yeah, 12 laps to go when they cross the line. They cross the line. Now, sorry, 13 laps to go, down into turn 1. And here comes Rossi, closes up once again on the brakes. Third gear right-hander, then a much harder braking zone for turns 2 and 3. We ride with Danny Pedrosa. Number 46 is coming. Number 46 closes right up on Danny Pedrosa. Not quite close enough as they come into turn 5.
Rossi there, you can just see as he came through turn number 5, just took a tear off before he came through this real fast left-hander all the way up to 4th gear at about 230 kilometres an hour. Not close enough to make a move at turn number 6. Is he close enough now through this sequence of changes of direction through 6, 7, 8 and 9? Rossi knows that he might be able to attack Pedrosa on the brakes at the end of the back straight. It's a favoured overtaking point here at the Speedway at turn number 10.
Yeah, it's one of the top places to overtake. It's one of the only really heavy braking zones, but he's not quite close enough. He does close up right on him. Perhaps now he'll have a go down at turn 1 if he's close enough. But the Honda has a lot of grunt coming out of that turn 16.
Well, guys, as Rossi's just heading down there, let's have a quick word with Jack Miller. Jack, unfortunate crash. You're okay though. What happened?
Yeah, we just after about the 4th lap, struggling a lot on the left-hand side of the tyre, and yeah, it was sliding into the corner, and once it stopped sliding, it overloaded the front, and I went down. So it was a bit of a shame.
Hey, but you're all okay.
Yeah, perfect.
Thanks, Jack.
Poor old Jack Miller, right, we ride with Pedrosa. I don't know if Rossi is close enough. I don't think he is. Pedrosa is fighting back. It's not an easy place to overtake here at Indianapolis. Turn 1 is one of the favourites, but Rossi's lining up turn 2. Rossi trying to line up turn 2. Here he comes up the inside. No way through. Not yet. Rossi now very, very close indeed. This is the battle for 2nd place. We ride with the World Championship leader.
And guys, I really don't want to say this, but we are getting some minute little spits. The teams are very aware of that. They're just warming up the bikes in pit lane. That's standard procedure to make sure that they're up to temperature should anything happen. I don't want to scare anyone, just make you aware of the situation.
Many thanks, Dylan, and yeah, you can see the bikes warming up.
It has just passed the halfway stage. That's when Ducati feared that some rain might come. We're on lap 16 of this 27-lap race. Here's Valentino Rossi. Is he close enough now for an attack on Pedrosa on the brakes at turn number 10? No, he's not further down the field. Polisbargo's moved up by Cal Crutchlow into 7th place. It's been a really impressive fight back through the field by Andrea Dovizioso. The Italian now is up into 10th place, and he's lapping in the high 133s.
Valentino Rossi closes on to Danny Pedrosa once again. We switch position. We now ride with Rossi. Rossi wants to get as close as he possibly can as they come onto this back straight. He could not be closer. Is he going to make his move now at the dreaded turn 1? They come down the straight. Here he comes out of the slipstream.
Rossi was really strong on this previous lap going into turn number 1. He just can't get close enough. The top speed of that factory Honda just holding off Rossi. Here's Andrea Iannone over the line in 5th place. Bradley Smith has cut the gap to Iannone down to 0.6 of a second. Here's Rossi now. Can he get close enough? We're coming up to turn number 6. He might be able to have a look up the inside of Danny Pedrosa. This is reminiscent of their great battle for 2nd place at the German Grand Prix a few weeks ago. Lorenzo, though, still leads the way. His lead over the line on the last lap was 0.3 of a second. Lorenzo just ducked back into those high 132s.
Bike's being repaired. Dylan, any news about the weather?
No, we're absolutely fine. Like I said, I mean, minute spits are really almost nothing, but of course you need to take all of this seriously. And as we say, the bikes need to be up to a certain temperature. You need to make sure it's
it's un-Rossi-like, isn't it? Because Danny Pedrosa's making life so difficult for him. When he usually gets it, Valentino Rossi, he makes a move very early on, but he is just not able to get past him at the moment at the front. It's almost a similar story, though. You feel he's got something a little bit left, Marc Marquez, don't you?
Yeah, this 2.591 miles Indianapolis Moto Speedway, that's a bit stop and go, and that sort of plays perhaps to the strength of the Honda with their superior acceleration performance. Rossi has been close on the brakes a couple of times, but Danny Pedrosa holding firm. We're on the run down the start finish straight again now to complete lap number 17. Lorenzo leads from Marc Marquez. We're back on board with Danny Pedrosa. This is where Rossi really closes up through this first corner. Is he close enough for a lunge up the inside at turn number 2? Rossi moves to the inside. Has Rossi made the move? Stick, he has. Valentino Rossi's up into third place by Danny Pedrosa.
Listen to the crowd wherever you are in the world. 68,000 American fans are on their feet. Rossi up into third place. Rossi does not want to finish off the podium. Rossi has not been off the podium all season. That's a classic move.
That's a move he's been lining up for about the last 3 or 4 laps. There he is, just slots that Yamaha up the inside of Danny Pedrosa. It's so tight through that first sector, there's no way for Danny Pedrosa to retaliate. Applause from the mass ranks of Yamaha staff here this weekend, of course. 60th anniversary for the Japanese factory. Lorenzo now, Marc Marquez getting that Repsol Honda bouncing and skipping on the brakes.
Rossi can do it.
That's where
Marquez is thinking, maybe I can. Doesn't know that Rossi's gone through, obviously, but thinking, yeah, I can do it. I don't think this race is over at the front by a long, long way. Lorenzo has ridden an absolutely brilliant race at the front, but Marquez has not let him get away despite a few, well, one particular big mistake. Great stuff, and Rossi up into third place.
Clear sign.
Oh, yeah, there you go. Clear sign. They're telling Marc Marquez that Rossi's got through on Pedrosa.
But Valentino Rossi's crossed the line to start lap 19. He's 3.5 seconds behind Marc Marquez. 9 laps to go. There's no way that Valentino Rossi is going to lap half a second quicker than the 2 Spaniards at the front. So as it stands, it does look like a straight shootout, which we thought was going to happen on Friday after practice. A shootout for the victory between Jorge Lorenzo and Marc Marquez. Rossi, as we say, 3.5 seconds back. He needs something to happen between these two to drag himself back into contention. Here we are at turn number 6. It's Lorenzo still standing firm. Almost an identical lap time between the two on that previous lap. 1:33, 1:12 from Lorenzo, 1:33, 1:26 from Marquez. Nothing between the two.
Yeah, it's a classic duel. Yeah, one finger breaking up there from Marc Marquez. That's just how powerful those brakes are. But this is a classic duel. Sometimes I think it's a 2-finger, was it 3-finger? 2 fingers from Jorge Lorenzo. Sometimes you get a duel where people keep swapping position. They're just swapping lap times, and they are running at an incredibly fast pace.
Marc Marquez has yet to show his hand in this race. Jorge Lorenzo's led from the very first corner. We're about to complete lap number 19. Lorenzo still leading the way. There'll be 8 laps to go of what's been an incredible duel so far between these great rivals, Lorenzo and Marquez. It's Lorenzo who'll lead over the line at the end of lap 19. The gap up to almost 0.2 of a second. Lorenzo, the fractionally quicker man. It's Valentino Rossi who's looking well placed for third. He's moved up 0.4 of a second clear of Danny Pedrosa.
No, it does appear there's nothing at the moment that Danny Pedrosa can do.
The rain flag.
The rain flag is out. We have just under 8 laps remaining. Dylan.
Well, look, pit lane, it is still spitting maybe slightly more, but not even as much as it was before Moto3, so we still have reason to be optimistic, but of course, all the teams still prepared. I was told it's turn 8 apparently.
Turn 8, it does seem there's a bit of drizzle. We'll try and check it out when we get to turn 8, when they arrive, the leaders at turn 8. But boy, that is going to unsettle people. Well, we're through turn 8, there's 9.
Sorry, turn 10, that's where the white flags are at turn 10. They're clearly being waved on the brakes to turn number 10.
Lorenzo still holds the advantage over Marc Marquez. He's led from the very start. He seemed to have a practice start even on the final sighting lap, didn't he? Well, Lorenzo, he was determined to get up the inside. It's quite a strange grid position here. You're up the inside of your third fastest, and he worked it out that he could get in there first, and that's exactly what he's done. please stay away the rain, because this has still got a long way to run. A duel of two the two fastest motorcycle racers in the world at the moment. And there is a Lorenzo, and Lorenzo is just prizing open a bit of advantage. So Marquez just closes up always at the end of the long straight, doesn't he?
Yeah, no, Danny Pedrosa is not giving up that third place without a fight. Valentino Rossi on the previous lap stretched out his advantage by close to half a second, but Pedrosa now right back on Rossi's rear tyre. Pedrosa now within 1 second. We saw Danny Pedrosa hold off Valentino Rossi for a brilliant second place 4 weeks ago at the Sachsenring in Germany. If Pedrosa can get back in front of Rossi and Lorenzo wins the race, that would be bad news for Valentino Rossi's championship.
We ride with Danny Pedrosa. Let's be honest, we thought when Rossi got past, that was it, but Pedrosa is fighting back. And as Dylan so rightly pulled it out, as the fuel goes out of that Honda, Pedrosa gets faster and faster. He's not a very big lad. And when the fuel goes, it's easier to ride the bike. Marquez closing up on Lorenzo. He hasn't made one move yet, has he, Marquez? Is that the pace that Lorenzo is running? That's something to do with it. Or is he waiting and waiting? Is that just a speck of rain on the camera lens there?
Yeah, that was down at turn number 10, where we did see those rain flags being waved on the previous lap. Cal Crutchlow has moved back ahead of Pol Espargaro into 7th place. The British rider and the Spanish rider having a real good scrap for 7th. Andrea Iannone looks like he's going to hold on to 5th, with Bradley Smith now slipping back by just over a second. Lorenzo and Marquez, the dominant duo in this race, about to complete lap number 21. We'll check the gap over the line. It's just over 1/10 of a second. The pair again back into the high 132s. And Pedrosa having a look at the inside of Valentino Rossi. Pedrosa almost through back into 3rd place on Rossi. He won't be close enough down in the braking zone for turn number 2, but Rossi really having to work hard for this 3rd place.
When is Marquez going to make his move at the front? He hasn't made any sort of move. Well done, Pedrosa. We thought he was out of this particular battle for the podium. He almost did a Rossi on him, didn't he? As they came into turn 1 and tried to line up turn 2. Pedrosa closes up once again. 5.5 laps to go. This is where, if there is any spitty rain about, they're coming into that section any moment now. Rossi still leads the way in 3rd place. They come onto the back straight down towards turn 10, where we do see the flags are waving. Are they still waving? We look, we can't see them, but the riders will be careful, and still Lorenzo leads the way. Still Marquez has not made his move. He's got to make a move soon. There's only just over 5 laps remaining.
Marquez has spent the entirety of this race so far glued to Lorenzo's back wheel. He'll have been able to have worked out perfectly what the strengths and weaknesses of the Yamaha are compared to that Honda package. Has he got enough pace to, one, get close enough to put an attack on Jorge Lorenzo and then hold him off in what's going to be a pretty dramatic final 5 laps? Lorenzo comes out, he gets great drive coming out of that final corner, does Jorge Lorenzo. That's where he's able to put about a 2/10 of a second clear of Marquez. Danny Pedrosa's taken back 3rd place from Valentino Rossi. So the pendulum in the championship swings back to Jorge Lorenzo. Rossi relegated back down to 4th. That means Lorenzo will close the gap as it stands to just 1 point, heading to Brno in the Czech Republic next week.
We ride with Pedrosa. We now switch to the cameras showing that Pedrosa is back in 3rd place. Valentino Rossi relegated to 4th. He hasn't been off the podium this season. Rossi will fight back. It's a great ride by Pedrosa.
Well, when Danny Pedrosa finally got ahead of Rossi in Germany, he was able to break the Italian resolve, wasn't he? What's he got now for the Italian? Here we go. Pedrosa using that slipstream in the braking zone for the 1st corner to move back into 3rd place. Bradley Smith has just set a personal best lap of the race with a 1:33.379, so he's not giving up the chase on Iannone. Iannone now 8/10 of a second clear of Smith. We're back at the front. Lorenzo again just eking out a few bike lengths on Marquez. Marquez not been able to get within striking distance as yet. We're coming up to complete lap number 23.
Onto the back straight they will come. You've got to say it's a brilliant ride, and Rossi back in front of Pedrosa. Rossi back into 3rd place. Was it a mistake by Pedrosa? Was it a clever bit of overtaking by Rossi? We will find out later. This is where Pedrosa's so strong. When they raced and he's just got this little bit of extra power, but Rossi will not let him through this time go. This is 4 laps is going to have a vital bearing on the World Championship.
This fight between Jorge Lorenzo and Marc Marquez is developing into an absolute titanic. So there you go, there's your answer. Dani Pedrosa running way too hot at the end of the back straight at turn number 10. That's why Valentino Rossi was able to immediately snap back and take back 3rd place on the last lap of this race. Lorenzo and Marquez set best laps of the race. It's a new lap record from Marc Marquez. He's 0.2 of a second inside of his own circuit lap record with a 1:32.625. There's 23.5 laps on these Bridgestone tyres, and Lorenzo and Marquez are breaking new lap records. This is going to be a great duel in these final 3 laps.
They're down at turn 10 at the end of the back straight. Marquez as close as he's been to Lorenzo perhaps through the whole race. Is he lining up for when they come onto that back straight and have a go at it at turn 1? Lorenzo is very good though, coming through turn 16 onto that back straight. The only time on that straight as they come over the start and finish line, they put the bikes into 6th gear. This is crucial. It's just coming up. This is the left-hander. Now it's the right. Now it's the left. Now, what sort of drive will Lorenzo get out of here? Can Marquez mount a challenge as they come down towards turn 1?
Yeah, Lorenzo again looked like he did get good drive. There you go, clearly +0 from Marquez. Marquez out of the slipstream. Marquez leads this race for the first time. Marquez has hit the front at the start of lap number 25. 3 laps to go, and the double Motogp world champion, looking for a 9th successive victory here in America, has finally hit the front.
Now he's at the front. Can he pull away from Jorge Lorenzo? Both have been running this searing pace. At the moment, Lorenzo closes up. Oh, a bit of a moment there for Lorenzo. Runs it just a little bit wide. Through 4, through 5, up towards turn 6. Marquez has now got the hammer down as they break for turn 6. 2.5 laps to go. Epic duel here in Indianapolis.
Can Lorenzo respond? Marc Marquez has sat behind him for the opening 24 laps of this race. He will know perfectly well the strengths and weaknesses of the Yamaha. Now it's Lorenzo's chance to have a look at the Honda. Bradley Smith is closing right up, and Andrea Iannone for 5th place. Marquez, this is where he crashed in the wall this morning at turn number 10. Safely through it this time. He hasn't able to break away from Lorenzo.
No, he's not. Lorenzo closes up once again through to and really closes up. They're coming now to the 2 left-handers, 12 and 30. He thought about it, Jorge Lorenzo, then decided not to do it. But he gets very good drive out of turn 16. Will it be enough to perhaps get through at turn 1 where Marquez took the lead? Here we go. This is turn 16 now.
Looks like Lorenzo certainly got the better edge grip. He was really right on Marquez's back wheel through turn number 11. Now, can Lorenzo retaliate? This is where he lost the lead on the last lap against Marc Marquez. The Yamaha just hasn't quite got the grunt down the start-finish straight. 2 laps to go. Marc Marquez still leads the way through that first corner. Valentino Rossi still holding 3rd place, but Dani Pedrosa has just set a personal best lap of the race. Rossi desperately fighting to hold on to that last podium place to keep his 100% podium record going this year. Here is that battle for 3rd, still being led by Valentino Rossi.
Yeah, Rossi wants to stay on the podium for every race this season. This is round 10 of the championship. He got past Pedrosa. Pedrosa got past him again, then made a mistake at turn 10. At the front, Lorenzo is having to ride very hard to stay with Marquez. Marquez is trying to open up the advantage with 1.5 laps to go, chasing his 5th successive victory here at Indianapolis. 1.5 laps. They come down towards turn 10. What a battle for 3rd place. Rossi just holding off Pedrosa.
What a massive couple of laps for the World Championship. A couple of laps ago, there was going to be a 12-point swing between Valentino Rossi and Jorge Lorenzo. As it stands right now, there will be a 4-point swing. Jorge Lorenzo again closing up on Marquez through that final sector. Rossi still holding Pedrosa at bay. We're about to start the final lap. It's a Marquez-Lorenzo showdown for the victory. A Rossi-Pedrosa showdown for the podium.
Fantastic run out of turn 16 for Jorge Lorenzo. Marquez still leads the way. 1 lap to go. Round 10 of the Motogp World Championship. It's at the legendary Brickyard. They've not seen racing better than this for a long, long time.
Pedrosa.
And Pedrosa is past Rossi.
Danny Pedrosa again using the acceleration and top speed of that Honda. Danny Pedrosa has taken back third place from Valentino Rossi. The championship picture changes yet again. They're through turn number 5 now. Marc Marquez has got clear daylight now between himself and Jorge Lorenzo. The gap up between almost up to half a second. This is Marquez's race to lose now, surely.
Yeah, Marquez has opened up the advantage. He bided his time, and I think Lorenzo now has got to settle for second place. As far as the championship goes, it's very, very important if Valentino Rossi can get past Danny Pedrosa. Marc Marquez then, half a lap to go for the 22-year-old Spaniard.
He's through the second split. The gap now half a second. Rossi has got back through on Danny Pedrosa. Valentino Rossi's a great scrap for third place. Pedrosa right on Rossi's back wheel. This is so, so crucial for the World Championship. Valentino Rossi came from 8th place on the grid.
Yeah, Rossi holds firm. Where did he take Danny Pedrosa? What is happening at the front? What is happening at the front? That Marc Marquez is going to win the race, surely from Jorge Lorenzo, but third place is still in doubt.
Yeah, here comes Marc Marquez to extend his fantastic record on American soil. Marc Marquez has broken Jorge Lorenzo's result. Marquez wins for the second time in a row this season.
And Valentino Rossi takes third place. Another podium finish, a podium finish in every race this season. What a ride by the two Yamaha riders. What a ride by Marc Marquez. And Bradley Smith trying to close up on Andrea Iannone in the battle for 5th place. I don't think he's quite going to be close enough. No, Iannone, 26 years old today, celebrates his 5th place. And in 6th place, it's Bradley Smith. Holder Spargo beating Cal Crutchlow across the line, 7th and 8th respectively.
Marc Marquez continues that phenomenal record in America. He's never lost in the Motogp class here on American soil. A 6th straight win. What a last couple of laps by Marc Marquez. He had a good long look at Jorge Lorenzo until about lap 24. And when he hit the front, those last 2 laps were absolutely brilliant. He was half a second quicker than Lorenzo on the final lap, but what a final lap by Valentino Rossi. How crucial could that be come the final reckoning at the end of the season? On lap 24 of that race, Valentino Rossi was seeing his World Championship lead shrink to just 1 point. But as it is, the damage limitation from 8th on the grid was mission accomplished, because